Hi, my name is Jack Logan, and today I'll be the first presenter to speak for Team Diamond. So we start off in our adventure campsite. We can grab some collectibles, some keys, open a chest. You look around, we have some water, but it all kind of leads you straight towards the natural path. But before we go there, we're going to take another look around, grab some more collectibles, open a chest. Gets us well prepared for our journey ahead. We can climb these rocks. If we climb up here, we have one more chest, and this kind of introduces the climbing mechanic to the player. This familiarizes us with our tools and being able to climb these wooden objects. So we can see this pathway leading down. This is the transition to my level. We have these little breadcrumbs of these crystals and this little pathway kind of leading us along. This waterfall kind of has like a leading line aiming kind of straight up to kind of indicate we need to be climbing some more. So we kind of follow the natural pathway here, and we try to climb these stairs, and they break. So we fall down into this river, so we need to find our way up. So just by following the natural path and these little crystal breadcrumbs, we lead to this big jump. After we make it, we kind of come to our big focal point. We have a crane, some crystals, some minecarts. We can tell that this was some sort of abandoned mining operation. Let's do some climbing around the edges. Going from crystal to crystal and from crystal rock.
Hey Jack, what's up with the face going into the cave?
The cave was designed to look a little bit like a face, just to provide a little bit of ominous tension to the atmosphere. It almost is a little reptilian in nature. As we climb here, though, we can see a little sneak peek of where we need to go, but it's blocked off by these stalagmites and stalactites, so we need to find a better way around.
That also looks like a mouth. Did you do that on
True.
purpose?
Yeah, looks like teeth.
Cool.
We come out, we're at the big lake.
Really creative. What inspired you to do that, bro?
At first, in beta phase, we were thinking of doing an abandoned city, but it didn't quite fit the vibe as well as just didn't make for a good transition. But I really like the big open atmosphere, so I was thinking of ways we could make it into a valve. And a lake with a one-way boat was the best idea I had. The pond scum is nice, though. It really sells the vibe that this is kind of abandoned and fallen into disuse. And here, I'm going to pass it off to Samantha as we enter her level.
Hello, my name is Samantha Carlisle, and you are entering the Snowy Mountain scene. Lucas, our player, forgot to go get the gem, so he will not be able to open the chest. However, it's okay. There's plenty more where that came from. So we have a refuge here on the left, a cabin of sorts. It's kind of abandoned, and it has been for a little bit. The initial idea was it was going to be like a hunting cabin, and he goes hunting up here every year. But as my ideas developed, it actually got a lot cooler. So, and you go into an ice lake, as you can see. If you touch the ice and you fall in, you die. So don't do that, which is why I made platforms for you to jump from place to place, too. And you restart. And then the silhouette you're supposed to see is the big mountain that you're kind of headed towards into it. So then you're going to go in there, and you have like the side on the left is kind of fallen through. So you know that way is not very safe. And then we're going to go into the cave where you also have a little bit of an ice floor and a map. Ideally, the map would actually show you something, so when we learn how to do that, that'd be awesome. And then you have some hieroglyphs or something on the wall. And you have an ancient minecart, and you have a lot of collectibles kind of breadcrumbing you through where you're supposed to go. I had to put like some of the torches and stuff through, so that was really cool. And then some of this stuff, if you don't collect it, then you won't be able to open all of the chests. And I really liked making the treasures and everything. I thought it was really cool.
Hey Samantha, do you mind if I ask, why are your crystals blue when the crystals in my level are pink?
My crystals are blue because I wanted this to be a very frozen area. So, like, if we're up in this really high altitude area in the snowy area, the idea that we kind of had for the story was the colder the crystals are, the bluer they get, whereas the warmer they are, like the pinker or redder they get. So your level is a little bit more warm, so they're going to be a more pink tone hue. Um, and then mine are a little bit blue. And then you can tell, like, as you're getting a little bit further, they're a little bit purplish. Changing a few shades there. I really liked doing that ice tunnel. It was like one of my favorite parts. And then this cabin we worked hard on, and the lights apparently did not work. That's sad. Well, it's still an abandoned cabin. And then you go down the paths and you're running around, and then you're going into Lucas's level. Yay!
And then on our way down to the path from Samantha's level, getting into the start of my level, you get to a broken trail, not allowing you to continue off to the left. There was supposed to be a little stream coming out through here, but I didn't get the time to add it in, though that'll be added in later. Majority of the water in this area will end up killing you if you do fall into it, just like Samantha's icebox and same with Jack's little pond area. But my main inspiration for this area is just like Bloodborne. I've always liked old Victorian stuff, so I wanted to do an old man from the forest. Coming into here, we have the lights just kind of like bringing you through here, wanting you to explore the area. The brighter lit area telling you to go. After you exit out here, the little drawbridge or the suspension bridge draws your attention to the greenhouse in the distance. Continuing out this way, this is probably my most proud of, or my work I'm most proud of in the block mesh, and least proud of in the actual end goal here, because I wasn't able to find textures for it. I am a little happy with these little grates, though. Coming through here, these jumps are actually really difficult, and I had to do a lot of editing to the actual greenhouse to get a lot of the clipping to stop, though you can see some happen there as well. Also intentionally made some of these jumps difficult, though the my system lag isn't helping me complete these.
Oh, I like how you did the grates there.
Thank you. Yeah, that's courtesy to the assets that Joseph actually migrated in. Coming back through here, there was supposed to be a little secret, but I didn't have the time to add it. Here, I was told to put something here to kind of make it so you don't want to continue that way, and then I put some boards on the floor to bring you towards the spiral staircase here. Coming up to the statue up top of the greenhouse with a trap door behind it. Dropping down here originally brought you down into a sewer system, and now it's a hedge maze. Going through the maze, if you do get lost at all going through, I made it intentionally to where you can jump and kind of get a little cheeky peek. After coming through the end of my level here, got the waterfall and the drawbridge going off into Joseph's level. Coming out here, it was difficult getting the mesh or the terrain here to block off to the other people's levels, but all in all, I feel happy.
All right, so my name's Joseph Flack, and for my initial block mesh here, I had a very long, boring section of walking, so that's what the waterfall transition right there Lucas implemented. I chose to just use some of that to create a basin and cut off some of that walking. The landscape itself here is the breadcrumb that's leading the player to the intended area. I mean, as you see, there's a well-beaten path going right here. My hope by now is that the player has become familiar enough with jumping on ledges that they instinctively go for these flat ledges to leverage this jump. That one's a little difficult. It's a very, very narrow, there's a very small margin of error there.
And it didn't help that currently my system lagged as I was trying to complete the jump.
Oh, good. So here we're entering the first area. Um, I intentionally wanted it to be barren. Um, there are some things here left behind. My idea was that if you were abandoned in a factory, you would take the things that were cost effective to move, as opposed to, those humongous machines. Those are going to be hard to move. Um, but I will be honest and say that I got bit by the scope bug. I didn't intend for it to be as empty, and I did run into some lighting issues, as you can see.
Hey, Joseph,
Yes.
what inspired you to make this like abandoned factory? What was your idea behind it?
Right. The idea. I'm from an area where the industry kind of dried up. I'm from a very small area. Industry dried up. We have a lot of abandoned factories in my area. That was something that I did as a child. I don't recommend anyone else do that, but we used to kind of make our way into and explore some abandoned buildings, and so that was something that I was familiar with and just wanted to bring to this game world.
That's an interesting thing to point out because I would do the same thing. I live Southern California area, and there's a lot of abandoned buildings here, and I would do a lot of free running and parkour in abandoned buildings like this. So jumping and running in
Right.
these buildings is really cool.
All right. So making it here to the transition here, just wanted it to be more open and more canyon style to mesh well with what's coming up ahead for Mr. Stevens level.
Hello, my name is Steven Fedor, and I am the designer of this next upcoming level. Pretty much, you can see that I focused a lot on like details to the landscape. I really enjoyed doing the landscape. It was probably my favorite part. A lot of fun. But you first walk into a cabin that kind of just seems like there's been lived in. Kind of seems like it potentially could have been broken in because there's glasses on the floor. There's a fire still potentially going. It still shows there. But you collect the 2 keys in there and you traverse into this open area. This initially was supposed to be like a forest, but I converted it into like a canyon because of the transition, with a lot of pretty aesthetics going on. While you look around, you can see that it looks like you're traversing into the mountains. You're going up, going down, just pretty much exploring the openness of this world. When you jump down, you find yourself a chest, pretty well lit, breadcrumbing with the torches that I used, just to make sure that it kind of keeps an eye on where to go without anything like obscuring in general. We jump down, we go into this cave system. It's just the beginning of the cave system. It just kind of follows along with the crystals throughout the level. You notice that they are blue because we're underground. I wanted to make sure that was pointed out. Pretty happy about that area, as well as the use of the keys and the doors. If you didn't notice when you first jumped into this area going towards the bridge, that there's a door behind the waterfall. I used torches to kind of push it out, be able to stand out saying, hey, this is the way you need to go. But you open it up and you find yourself into this ancient ruin type thing, where you see these pillars, you see a cave entrance, you see this massive amount of cave systems going on, and then you find yourself into this treasure room. When you look around, you can see little small particles on the ground, which are gems, some coins, and then also if you look at the minecart, you can see that there's a lot of treasure in there, as well as leading lines with the railroad tracks itself. It kind of forces you to go outside.
So I do notice that this area is a lot different than the rest of it. Was there any inspiration you had there to just go crazy with the ancient ruins?
Honestly, when I was going through the marketplace for the assets, I noticed this cave system because we were really heavy into the cave system. And I liked the fact that we were able to utilize different materials from different packs and stuff like that to be able to showcase our, creativity and make sure that, it stood out instead of just kind of blending in with the natural surroundings.
That's a good reason.
If you look around, you can see that they're in the distance. You can even see the mountains. We made sure that there was no space to be seen outside. See that it shows depth into the level itself, and then as well as when you see right here, we're walking by a garden. It looks like someone tend to it, but it could be natural growth. But this is my end of my level, just to show you the little showcasing of little artistic value that I put into here, just to brighten up the mood onto the last transition. This is the transition to the end level. I just kind of made it thicker because when you get up to the end, it kind of opens up a little bit. So you want to make sure that you pay attention to these little small pathways that I put into here. And, kind of doesn't just make it one leading line. It gives you the player an option to run around. And then you see that it opens up with the same kind of trees, same kind of shrubbery, and same rocks. And then here we are. We are at the end level, the lodge. It just kind of showcases the scenery. And then we go in, and that's it.